Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Serelda with the Married to My Purpose podcast. I hope you all have been enjoying the other podcasts. We have sent some shameless plugs out about our Married to My Purpose National Conference in El Paso, Texas, August 2nd through the 4th. You all have got to go out, click on the link. It will be near this podcast. And if you are unsure of what that link is, go to marriedtomypurpose.org. And we will be able to give you all of the information you need regarding the conference. All of that information is just look up Married to My Purpose online, and you will see the conference information out there. We will also have the link available to you as well. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about affirmations and how important affirmations are for your purpose. Many times people think that when we use the I statements that we're being maybe conceited or too bold or arrogant, but no, affirmations actually keep us going and keep us on track. So let's go down a few of these affirmations today. I will let you into my vault and share with you some of the affirmations that I've used. One of them is, I will use this season for growth. In order for me to continue to cultivate my purpose and make sure that I can help others do the same, is I have to make sure that I'm using this season for growth. Understanding what season we're in is very, very important. Sometimes, for example, let's just use a practical example. If it's wintertime, we are not going to the beach with a swimsuit on. Now, some people may dare it and do some polar plunges, but that would not be me. So we actually dress for the seasons, right? So if we dress for the seasons, why are we not planning for the seasons in terms of our purpose? We should be doing the exact same thing. Now, what about needing time to help people grow differently? Now that you have affirmed within yourself that this is a season of growth for you, we also have to understand that we are helping other people grow as well. I want to grow differently. And in order for me to grow differently and help someone else, I have to lay the foundation for that, right? Here's another one. I will imagine that money is never an issue. I'm going to sit here for a second because I think many people feel that everything that you need to advance regards money. Everything requires money, and it does not. Here's a little tip for you. A mindset change does not require money. Now, our mind is an organ inside of our bodies, just like everything else, and we have to take care of it. Our brain is an organ, just like everything else, and we have to take care of it, just like every other part of our body. So how are we keeping our mind healthy? And many times the things that we need to do to keep our minds healthy is not necessarily something we have to buy, but it's a position of our heart, our minds, our souls, and our spirits. So what are you all doing? If money was not an issue and you can get up right now today and start operating in your purpose. What about, I will be blessed and not broken? Ooh. Many of us are walking around broken. Unless you mend a broken glass together, if you want to, because there are some things that we don't want to mend together. If you are a broken glass, or if you have a broken glass and you're trying to pour water in it and you didn't really mend it or glue it back together, guess what? The water is going to come out. Think about ourselves. Think about our minds. Think about our lives. What happens when we allow our minds and our spirits to be broken? We don't want to walk around broken. We want to be blessed. We want to be blessed so that we can be a blessing. Now, when I say blessed to be a blessing, I'm not talking about a specific religion. I'm not talking about a spiritual ideology. I'm just simply talking about having favor in your life, having blessings in your life, and being a blessing to others. I've had people that have come up to me and just financially blessed me that don't even know me. They said that my spirit drew them to me and they were led to bless me. But I don't want to be broken and they can't find me. So let's make sure that we're not walking around being broken. We want to be blessed. What about I will stretch it out and get my reps in? Think about a push up. Think about a sit up. How many times do we get frustrated or we don't want to do the sit ups? We don't want to do the push ups for those who still do. Now, some of us may not do push ups and sit ups anymore because our bodies are telling us to get somewhere and sit down. Okay. But for those of us that are still able to push a few out, we've got to stretch ourselves, right? I will stretch it out and get my reps in. Now, let's translate that into what we do in the natural realm. Let's translate that into what we do with our purpose. In order for us to achieve the affirmations, in order for us to receive the affirmations from other people, but also in order for us to reach the aptitude of our purpose, we have got to get a rhythm in, which really equates to reps. Some things we've just got to do over and over and over and over. If every time you talk about your purpose, it changes, it's probably a hobby and not a purpose. Because depending on where we are in our mindset, hobbies can change. I'm not as old, but if I get older, there may be things that I cannot do anymore in terms of hobbies. When I retired from the military, before I retired from the military, I enjoyed running. Once I left the military and my knees were messed up, my back was messed up, my ankles were messed up, my feet were messed up, guess what? I don't enjoy running anymore because it hurts. So I had to find another hobby. So we've got to stretch it out. We've got to establish stretch goals and we've got to get those reps in and create a consistent rhythm regarding our purpose. What about I will create a life that will allow me to wake up without an alarm clock? What does that mean? That means I want to create a profession. I want to create a passion. I want to create something around my purpose that is going to allow me to monetize my gifts, my talents, my skills, and my abilities to live the life that I would want to live. I am not downing or diminishing or dismissing people who have 9-to-5 jobs, but I am speaking myself out of a 9-to-5 job. I don't always want to be in a 9-to-5 job. I want to operate in my purpose. I want to pull people and elevate other people in to their purpose. And I don't want to be distracted. And I also don't want to be allow a 9-to-5 job to be a barrier. How many of us stay too long in places and we miss the move of our purpose? So many of us miss our purpose. And guess what else? There are some people who have never even established what their purpose is. That's a really, really depressing thing in my mind. I don't want to live my entire life and not understand what my purpose is. And hopefully, we are all doing the work to figure that out. What about I will create opportunities for myself so that I can create opportunities for others? There are so many of us that are listening to this podcast that understand we have so many gifts and abilities inside of us that we have to share with other people. Establishing this podcast was even an opportunity for me that a friend of mine offered. Hosting my conference in El Paso, Texas was an opportunity for me. And I'm very blessed and grateful for it. So just as an opportunity was created for me, I'm creating an opportunity for other people. My experiences, my life experiences, my professional experiences, all of those things have molded me into who I am and is continuing to mold my purpose. What about I will not try to do it all? Yes, I'm retired combat veteran from the United States Army, but I am also in a space where I know that I have to give back. I have to give back because someone gave back to me. I have to pay it forward because someone paid it forward for me. Okay. I will stop being afraid of doing what's best for me. Self-care means something. Self-care to you may not mean the same thing for me in terms of self-care. I like to take naps. I don't know what it is that you like to do, but I love taking naps. What else? I like writing. I like helping people. I like meditation. Meditation calms me and it balances me. I don't know what your self care is, but you have to make sure that you stop being afraid of self care. I will make more time to focus on my purpose. Time is a commodity that we do not get back. When we focus on time and we don't utilize it properly, that is a commodity that we cannot get back. There are 24 hours in a day. We sleep a whole lot of those hours, many of us, and some days we don't get sleep at all. But some of us sleep a substantial amount of time. Some of us have a substantial amount of time that we expend in our 9 to 5 jobs, but we still have time left. Think about this podcast. This podcast is 12 to 20 minutes on any given day. I make the time for 12 to 20 minutes to do this because I want to share the experiences with you that I've had. Someone may be listening for or looking for this very message that I'm sending today regarding affirmations. I will remember that it is not all about money. Money does move things. True enough. We can be a blessing to people with money. Some people say you have to pay to play. For example, I've spoken at conferences where I was not paid to speak at the conference, but depending on the content that was presented, I wanted to be in the room. Sometimes you do have to pay to play depending on what your purpose is calling for in that particular season. But everything is not always about money. The experiences sometimes are more valuable than money. The connections are sometimes more valuable than money. And the relationships that we build are absolutely sometimes always more powerful and more valuable than money. Watch this. I am only a few decisions away from living in my purpose. I'll let that sit in for a second. I'm only a few decisions away of living in my purpose. Again, we talked about it earlier. We have to stretch ourselves and get our reps in. Do something consistently. If there are times where we are in the week and I speak with the person that does this podcast and say, hey, are we going to do this? Some days we have to shift to get it in, but we've got to get those reps in. We've got to get them in. Don't just have yourself in a place where you're not going to do anything. Don't let procrastination kill you. Don't let procrastination paralyze you. And certainly don't be paralyzed where you cannot progress in everything that you have set out to do. Set some goals and then stretch those goals. Okay? I will fight for myself. Many of us have been in situations where we've had to fight in not so good environments. Okay. I was in the military. I deployed 3 times to combat. Everyone fights differently. What in your season right now do you need to fight for? You have to think about that. I will create environments around me that will help others. I will create environments around me that will help others. If you're not attracting people to you, you're probably doing something wrong in terms of your purpose. Why do I say that? Because we are a gift to this world. Now, when I was growing up, people would say, you know what, she thinks she's God's gift to the world. Well, maybe I do. Maybe I do think that. But guess what else? Let's take it a little bit further. If I'm a gift to the world, that means I am supposed to be enjoyed as a gift. And when I say enjoyed as a gift, I'm talking about my time, my talent, my treasures, my possessions, my money. Every dollar that passes my hand is not mine. It's meant to be a blessing for others as well. All of the time that I spend in the day should not all be on myself. Some of those things should be to lift up the greater good of humanity. Some people have never tapped into that side of themselves. It is a very exhilarating space to be in. I will remember that everybody is not in the same place that I'm in. Oh, that is so important. Why? Because we assume that everybody works as hard as us. We assume that everybody stays up as late as us to get the work done, to get the job done. We will assume that everybody thinks like us. And we have to be careful because sometimes we'll say, I know he knew that. I know she knew that. Guess what? They probably didn't. Now, of course, I'm pulling on my diversity expertise and my culture and fair treatment agent, game changer, all of the practitioner in terms of being a certified diversity executive. Now I'm shifting into that space where we cannot assume that someone else knows. Oftentimes in church, we'll hear the preacher say, now you all know that scripture about so and so and so and so. And people are like, no, actually, I don't. Let's not assume. There are some things inside of you, as I close out this podcast. There are some things inside of you, like there are some things inside of me that someone else needs. People need your gift. They need your talents. They need your time. They need your treasures. They need your possessions. Guess what? They need your privilege. There are so many other things that people need. And the circle that you're called to is not the same circle that I'm called to. So as you are continuing to court your purpose, to date your purpose, and ultimately marry your purpose, think about the affirmations that you need to write so that you can keep yourself on track. Hold yourself accountable as you are looking to marry your purpose. All right, folks, this is the next episode has been recorded. So I am so very happy that you took the time to listen in. We will see you next time on Married to My Purpose, the podcast. This is Dr. Serelda signing off. Bye-bye now.